Alright, day 2 of Toy Fair is pretty much a wrap, and yeah, I'm actually done with the event. I'm flying home from New York tomorrow, back to California, and dude, New York is super cold. But first and foremost, thank you, Blokees, so much for inviting me to the event. I had a ton of fun. It was great meeting all of y'all, and yeah, perhaps I will be back next year and we can break bread again. If you guys are not familiar with Blokees, please do get familiar. They make non-transforming figures from Transformers and Saint Seiya, Ultraman, Sesame Street, Minions, like so many different franchises, and they're a lot of fun. And before in my head, the Blokees stuff kind of occupied the same space that YOLO Park does, like some of the smaller stuff, but I will say this. After this event, I'm fully on board with Blokees, and it's not because they invited me, it's just I don't know. After I immersed myself in their product for several days, I don't know. I just really like what I saw, and yeah, I'm gonna start collecting these things. But where can I start? I mean, I guess the first day. We got here in the morning for something called like muffins and mimosas. Um, I don't know, man. I didn't really think anything about the title, and yeah, they just kind of welcomed us. It was the first hour, first minute of Toy Fair, and we were at the Blokees booth, and yeah, I actually got to meet that toy guy and TM reviews. I keep saying TMR reviews because the R is capital, but it's TM reviews. And I heard TM Review's voice in the background, and I turned around. I was like, "Oh, what?" I recognized it instantaneously. And he has a very distinct voice. And that toy guy, yo, my man is super tall. I saw his badge, and I was like, "Yo, that toy guy, I follow you, bro." And yeah, when I introduced myself as Botbender, he knew who I was and stuff. And yeah, dude, both those cats were super cool. And for me, just kind of running into kind of like peers, so to speak, kind of in the space, fellow like toy enthusiasts and influencers, like I don't know, it just set me up with a really positive vibe. It was almost like going to summer camp or something, and like meeting somebody that you kind of knew, and you're like, "Oh, what's up?" And so that was a pretty cool way to start the event. And I started sipping one of the orange juices, and that toy guy was like, "Bro, you drinking alcohol this early in the morning?" And I was like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "Dude, that's a mimosa. It has alcohol in it." I was like, "Oh, what?" And I was gonna just put it back, but I had already sipped it, so I just chucked it in a nearby trash can. But yeah, dude, I wasn't trying to get tilted so early in the morning. And I don't like alcohol in general. But anyway. So the first day was a blast. Got to know the Blokeys staff, and they're really, really cool. And they have some heavyweights on their team, like industry giants who have been in the game for like 20, 30 years, tons of accolades and releases under their belt, and they joined Team Blokees because they believed in what they were doing, a disruptor in the space. And turns out Blokees has been around for like 10 years. I had no idea, but it's only been recent that they started moving into like Transformers and all these other IPs. And I wish them great success, and I hope they keep going because they're doing some incredible things. I really, really like what they're doing with Minions and Sesame Street. I want to get on board with that, and I want to see if I can like do the whole MOC things with them with the Hasbro toys. They seem to utilize 5 millimeters, and so I mean, we'll see. But yeah, just the vibe at a toy convention is just so unique. I mean, in my space, I work in the video game industry, and you're surrounded by other people who are video game enthusiasts. You go to video game conventions, and everybody talks about games. But here, you're just surrounded by kidults. You can see the love for the industry and the passion when they're talking about stuff, and there's just so much just like positive toy energy. I don't know how else to put it. And I love being in the gaming industry, but I will say it's a second. If I could choose, firstly, it would be toys. I felt right at home, and I was like, I feel right. I really do feel right. And I also realized how vast the space is because, man, robots and transformers and stuff just occupy a tiny sliver. The majority of stuff that I saw out there, like, that wasn't really interested in at all. Oh, I was gonna say also the first day, dude, just randomly walking down the hall, I bumped into Mark Clonus, and I was like, "Mark," and he kind of looked at me like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Dude, I'm Botbender," and he was like, "Oh, what's up?" Because Mark and I have talked before, and so getting to see him and meet him in person, I just gave him his flowers, and I told him that I really appreciate him being such a great representative of the fandom within the walls of corporate America. And and speaking of which, the second day today, so I saw TMR's TM reviews. What is it? Covering Mask at the Loyal Subjects, and I saw that John Warden was there. You guys know John Warden? He is Mr. Hasbro, Mr. Transformers himself. He doesn't work there now, but the franchise is where it's at because he had a direct involvement in this. He is close to the physical manifestation of like Primus, so to speak. And yeah, I went and he was having lunch, so I came back later and I was working up this intro of like, I'm a prominent fan moder, Mr. Warden. I'm a big fan. I was trying to figure out a way to say this without sounding pompous. But I got there and he looked at my badge and he was like, Botbender Orange. I was like, get the cup out of here, dude. John knew who I was and he's like, dude, I follow you on Insta. I was like, yeah, I follow you too, dude. And he was a big fan of what I do in terms of the fan moding and stuff. And I couldn't believe it, dude. Like, I went there to give him his flowers and here he was giving me my flowers. And he would just encourage me to keep on going. And I mean, yeah, I was there to see Mask 2 and stuff like that. But honestly, I was there to talk to John. And so he had a bit of a break from when he was introducing the Mask line. And so I was just there with him, just talking shop. Dude, hearing him talk about the industry is just overflowing with passion and love for the space. And when he talks, like one, he's very charismatic, and you could tell he's a visionary. He's like seeing into the future, like, oh yeah, if we did this, it'd be so cool. Talking about play patterns and not just about enjoying toys. And I've never talked to anyone before like that. I mean, granted, like I mean, I'm new to the toy space, but talking to him was absolutely incredible. It is actually the highlight of my entire trip. And it was really nice, man, just talking shop with them. I got to show him a bunch of my builds on my phone. That's like, I couldn't believe what was happening, you know? And oh, it was such a good time. It was such a good time. But yeah, I really like this space. I really do. And even though the robot transformer aspect of it is pretty small, it's a small part of something pretty glorious. And what that glorious thing is obviously the toy space. And I don't know if I'm going to make efforts to try to join it in any serious capacity because I got my own thing going on, like I said, in the video game industry. I've been here 20 years, so it's kind of like hard to pull away from that. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But all I gotta say is I really like the Blokees stuff a lot, and they had a wall of creators, like Hall of Fame and people's pictures in there. Yo, I'm trying to be on there next year. I'm trying to get my picture on there and trying to do some interesting things with their line. I was talking to them about 5mm ports and pegs, and they're just kind of looking at me like, sure. I don't think they quite got what I was talking about, but I can't wait to get my hands on a Sesame Street kit and make like Elmo Stater or Grover Stater or Oscar Stater or something like that. But thanks, Blokees.